How's it going, guys? I am Jake37 and I'm here today with a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be switching to a screen recorder and I'm going to be showcasing some stuff that I really wanted to talk about. Literally nobody else is talking about this or covering it in the slightest, and it has slowly been fading into obscurity, so I wanted to cover this while it was still readily available and I was still able to perfectly talk about this. Now, one thing you probably noticed right off the bat is I'm saying a different name. I've went by a different username for a good while now, about 2 years, but I have decided to discontinue that name because it just simply did not work with my page anymore. Like, no longer pescatarian. I haven't been pescatarian in like 6 or 7 months now, and religion does not really have much to do with my channel anymore, so the pescatarian Jew is kind of an irrelevant name now, and it just feels silly to call myself that, so I am sticking to Jake37. That is my name across many other platforms. I feel as if the name has stuck well, people like it, so I thought I'm just gonna make that my username here as well. Jake37 is the new name. I wanted to throw that out there before I got into this video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the absolute atrocity of the blood on the dance floor physical media. This is something nobody is talking about, and it is insanely absurd that nobody else has even mentioned this, like, in the slightest. Even within the Blood on the Dance Floor community that does somehow still exist, like, literally nobody has mentioned this, so I thought it would be cool to make a video and talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to keep the camera in the middle for this introduction part of the video, because honestly, I want to explain a thing or two before I get into the website. So, I have been a fan of Blood on the Dance Floor since middle school. I've always enjoyed their music. I personally think that Blood on the Dance Floor is not nearly as bad as people make it sound. Like, I've been on many different music forums, I've been on different websites, and you all know that I'm very active within the music community. However, I see literally nothing but hate about this group. I know why people do not like the members, I'm very fully aware of it, but I feel like people critique the music in a very unfair way. I feel like people are listening to it for the wrong reasons. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I will say the early albums, like 2008 to 2009, those are meant to be fun albums. They're meant to be stupid. They're meant to be fun to listen to. They are not meant to be an intellectual masterpiece, so if you go into it with that expectation, you're not going to like it. Now, as for 2010 to 2016, which is my favorite era of their music, I think that those albums are a major step up, and I genuinely think that they are some of the best albums. I do not care what anyone says. I love those albums, even to this day. One thing that nobody ever talks about is what happened after Javon left the group. When Javon was in the group, there was a small hint of professionalism. I'm not going to say that they were the most professional group ever, but at the same time, they seemed to know what they were doing. They seemed to know how to market their stuff really well. They knew how to talk with their fan base. They knew, like, how to be professional, but not completely professional at the exact same time. After Javon left the group, it seemed like Dahvie completely derailed all that professionalism and just threw it out the window, because if you look at how everything was handled after Javon left, you would think that Javon was the one who literally held this group together all those years, because after he left, the professionalism was completely gone. It shows very well with the physical media, which is primarily what I wanted to talk about in this video. The physical media is something that gives away the lack of professionalism with this group now. The recent physical media is a very good example of how Dahvie does not know what his fans want, he does not know what to do anymore, and he's just nostalgia baiting. I personally think that Dahvie should just completely stop with the music, because I feel like he has no idea what he's doing anymore. What he's doing nowadays is just completely embarrassing. I'm also going to point out this is an unscripted video, so if this seems like a mess, that is exactly why. I am just kind of going with the flow on this one. I'm not exactly planning to say anything. I'm literally just going along with the video. So be fully aware of that, because I'm noticing that I'm kind of rambling on right now, and that's kind of what this video is going to be. So know that before I get into the rest of the video. But there is no more professionalism with this group. It seems like all of it completely died after Javon left. And it became much more evident after 2019 with the physical media. So I'm going to head over to the website and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the current state of what Blood on the Dance Floor is and what their physical media is like. The physical media, in my opinion, tells the entire story. It really gives you an insight on just how far this group has fallen. The physical media by itself kind of tells you that there is no direction anymore, and it's just kind of doing whatever works and trying to profit from nostalgia. So, let's get into this. I'm going to shrink the screen a little bit, and we are and we are going to head over to the website. Okay, so prepare yourselves because this is really hard to look at. I have been silently looking at this for years now. This has been happening since like 2019 and beyond. Again, I enjoy their music. I literally listen to the 2008 to 2016 music even today, but what he's doing now is nothing but pure nostalgia baiting and trying to see what works. So, let's do this. Okay. This thing is so badly set up. Okay, I'm gonna go to the shop section. Okay, yep, this is the page. This is one of the pages anyway. So right off the bat, we have a limited edition Let's Start a Riot cassette tape. Now, Blood on the Dance Floor has never made cassettes before. This is a brand new thing that he kind of rolled out. So, he made cassette USBs back in 2019, but he never made like actual cassette tapes. And with this right here, he decided to introduce one. Holographic cassette tape, only 7 ever made. $70. 5 are in stock. This implies that people really are buying it. I will say I'm not going to like just completely act like this is the dumbest thing ever, because it looks nice, but at the exact same time, like, why does this exist? Like, he has literally never done cassettes before until recently. So, and I think it's only this album. I've never seen a cassette release of any other projects. That's one of them, though. That's one of many. I think you guys can see what I am looking at. Blood on the Dance Floor, Club to Death, which is a single that came out in 2012. I personally love that song. I think it's incredible. All 3 tracks on that single are great. You can call it an EP, call it a single. It's either one works. It's titled Club to Death with 3 tracks on it. This is the Club to Death vinyl. Now, 1 out of 1. One copy exists of this vinyl, literally 1 copy, and it costs $202. Like, this is literally just for those 3 tracks. There's no bonus tracks. It's literally just those 3 tracks on a green vinyl for $200. Like, that is absolutely insane. 1 out of 1 custom made 8-song. What is this? Custom 8-song vinyl showing the Pikachu t-shirt cover. That's interesting. Like, this literally, this does not seem like 2026 right now, because this is how the site kind of looked back in the day with all this bright, colorful merchandise. So, but you can tell that this is modern stuff because a lot of this did not exist back in the day. Like this right here. 2 for $40 Epic Scream Duo. Free throwback bracelet plus album included. Now, this EP right here, the Ice Cream EP, this never had a physical release. He literally just rolled this out. And he actually kept the cover with Garrett on it, which is really fascinating considering over the past couple of years, he's just been taking the other artists off of the covers. So it's really interesting that he chose to keep Garrett on the cover of this one. But yeah, the Ice Cream EP is now a physical release. This one, I Don't Give a F***. It's 2012 and we still don't give a f***. I'm not sure if this is an older shirt or if he just made it. It would not surprise me if this was something he had just came up with. It does look like something that he released back in the day, but I've never seen that before. You keep scrolling, you see a shirt with Javon on it. That's interesting. All the Rage Deluxe Edition. That came out, this exact same copy released back in 2019. I'm not sure if that's the same copy or if he remade it. But as you can see, Javon was taken off of the cover. You have Epic the Remixes over here. That never had a physical release either. That's always just been digital. In fact, you can't even stream that on any streaming services. So it's a little interesting that he's choosing to release that now, even though, like, almost no one knows about it. You have the Diamond Deluxe Edition. He took Garrett off of this cover. Like, this is what I do not understand. He took Garrett off of this one, but he kept Garrett on the Ice Cream EP. Like, I really do not understand why he would do that. And this, I'm not going to lie, this is a cool cover. I do like how I think the black backdrop really works. But at the same time, like, why is this a thing? Like, he's done this so many times. Why can't he just print the older presses of it? I feel like he could definitely do that and people would buy it. Even this, there's no track listing for it, so we literally do not even know what's on it. Now, you would think it was the track listing for the deluxe edition because that would make logical sense, but at the same time, he has altered the track listings on nearly all of these reprints, so at the same time, you don't exactly know what you're getting. It appears that if you click the wrong thing, it just completely resets the website. So we're going to keep going here. And this over here, the Revolution Pack, that is something that used to be on streaming, but it was pulled many years ago. I had that downloaded when I was in middle school. It includes the Evolution album, Anthem of the Outcast, and Club to Death. I'm not sure how he would print that as a CD though, because there's no way he was able to fit all of that on one of the CDR pressings, because the modern day pressings are CDRs. They're not like regular CDs like he used to print back in the day. This Platinum Edition, I don't know if that's the original or if it's a reprint with the same cover. It's hard to tell nowadays. Oh yeah, and that Revolution Pack has Javon on the cover. He didn't take him off of that one, but he took him off of the other ones. You have a hoodie with Javon on it. The Anthology compilation, I'm surprised he's selling that. That was from 2019. This just literally seems like nothing but nostalgia baiting. It doesn't seem like he's trying to actually create anything new. He's just trying to do something that worked in the past. But keep going. Oh, this shirt. Oh my. Great website. That one over there. The one that shows Dahvie and Jay smashing haters made out of gingerbread men. That's a classic shirt. I remember seeing that one when I was in 8th grade. That's a shirt that many people did not like. I'm going to scroll for just a little bit longer and we can jump to the other stuff I want to look at. That shirt, the Evil Kitty shirt, that came out in 2013 with the Bad Blood album. So that's definitely an older merch item. BOTDF Raven, that hoodie is $200. That exact same hoodie came out back in 2018. I remember having a friend named Kayla. She literally had this exact same hoodie, and Dahvie was like, oh, only 5 copies are being made of it. Buy it now. And now it's back on the website. Like, okay. A list of bracelets over here to the right. I have seen all of those before. I used to have 2 of them. You have the Party On bracelet right there in the middle. I used to have that one as well. The Scissors bracelet, the Death BOTDF bracelet, the Sexting bracelet. I literally had all of those. I am going to scroll up and we are going to the CD section. Now, the physical media is horrible. It is like legitimately one of the worst things I have ever looked at before. I cannot believe he really is selling these. Like, this is something that to this day I think is embarrassing because, again, back in the day, if Blood on the Dance Floor released physical media, they would do 1 or 2 CDs a year. And the vinyl pressings would be a rare occurrence because they didn't print vinyl very often. But now, like, they're just pumping them out on a daily basis, and it's to the point where if you are a collector and you're trying to get all of their physical media, it is literally impossible. Now, if you were just collecting the 2008 to 2019 stuff, you have a good chance at finding all of it, but from 2020 and onward, you will never have all of it, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to... Oh my... This website is so bad. Okay, so it looks like I'm not even able... Okay, the home section. Perhaps I can do it from here. Okay, yep, CD section. Okay, that's... That over to the left is not a CD, but okay. Epidemic, that's the long-awaited Blood on the Dance Floor album that just came out. The Ice Cream EP, there you have it right there. Now, I can't tell like if this is just a repeated track list or not, because it looks like tracks 1 to 5 are the regular tracks, but it looks like 6 to 10, they look like repeats, but at the same time, it looks like there might be, like, they might be remixes or something. But, again, that never had a physical release. Lest we forget, over to the right, I used to have a copy of that. I had a copy of the original pressing and of the repress, but I don't have them anymore. I don't know if he just now remade that or if that's an older pressing, but either way, it's really odd to see that on his website now. See, now this one, I kind of do not understand, because I've seen this one before, like I remember when that first came out, and I don't know if it's the original track listing with extra stuff onto it, or if it's literally just a completely separate project. There's no track listing for it, so none of us really know what's on it. Then you have these pressings. These are represses. These are not the originals. This one right here, the Invocation, I remember when that first came out, the CD was like in a diamond CD slip cover, which was really cool. This one, however, is like a regular jewel case. You can see, like, with the red... I'm acting like you can see that. It's the red outline on top of the triangle where it shows the bats. That is added just so it can be like a square jewel case design. Original Let's Start a Riot CD. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Blood on the Dance Floor original Diamond album. Now, you just saw that cover with the black outline on it. This is the deluxe edition. I bought this CD back when it first launched on the website. This exact copy is the full deluxe edition track listing. So what exactly is the one with the black outline? Does it have extra stuff that we don't know about? Is it just this one again? Like, what is it? This, oh boy. I got a word to say about this one. And it looks like it misclicked. That's always good. This one right here. OMFG Jewel Case Album. Oh boy, this is something that needs to be talked about very briefly. 2009, Blood on the Dance Floor was releasing an album that was never finished. The album was going to be called OMFG. It was scrapped in exchange for the Epic album in 2010. Why was it scrapped? Because Garrett was no longer a part of Blood on the Dance Floor. This was meant to be an album of fully new material that also included the Ice Cream EP. Again, that album was never finished, it was never completed, it never got released. It was a scrapped album for well over 10 years. Okay, remember that. If it's a scrapped album, how exactly can they be releasing it? Unreleased material, maybe? No. However, take a look at this. They do not show you the track listing. They do not let you see what the actual track listing of this physical release is. However, I had a copy of this. In fact, I might still have it. No, it looks like I do not have this anymore. I want to show you all this. This is something that I think is one of the best examples of nostalgia baiting I've ever seen before. He wanted you to think that he was going to release the full original album that never actually got finished. He knew the opportunity was right there. An album that was never officially released that could potentially have a lot of unreleased content on it, but that is very far from what it is. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to my website, Rate Your Music. BOTDF. Alright. Prepare yourselves, guys, because this is the supposed unreleased album from 2009. Unreleased material on it, as it's stated on the listing. And you scroll a little bit, you go to the discography, here it is. And it's not even listed there. Okay. There it is. Right here, the unreleased album, the OMFG album. What's on it? Now, for one, this would not have been the cover back in the day. There were prototypes of the OMFG album cover on Facebook back in the day, but this was not one of them. This was a completely recreated cover that was a couple of years ago. Now you scroll down it, and the ratings are already quite low. Came out in 2023. And here we go. This is the track listing to the left. You can't make this up. This is quite literally just a compilation of the Ice Cream EP, the OMFG EP, and a couple of singles. This is literally content that's already out. But he marketed this saying that it was an album of unreleased material and saying that we would finally get to hear the long scrapped album, even though it quite literally is stuff that's already out. But he never shows you the track listing on the website. You have to buy it to see what it is. I bought it, and I saw really quickly that I had just been ripped off. So this is not the original album. This is not the album that you think it is. This is literally a compilation of projects that are already out. This is awful. Like, I cannot believe he would really put this out and try to manipulate people into buying it. He got me with it, and he got a few other people as well, and they sold it immediately after they bought it. But we're going to go back to the website. That is really odd. It just randomly cut the recording. Okay, so yeah, you guys saw that. Like, this is terrible. Keep scrolling. You have BOTDF Evolution Special Edition. Does not have Javon on the cover. Again, he took him off of all of these. I almost got this a few years ago because I was being a fucking moron. He does reveal the track listing for this one, so you can see what it is before you can buy it. So, for one, it shows the cover with just Dahvie on it. He took Javon off of this one. This was on the holographic cover from 2012. Like, one side showed Javon, the other showed Dahvie. You have the back of it. That's the track listing right there. Slightly altered, but not really. I honestly feel like you could just buy the original deluxe edition from 2012 over this one. Like, the only additions are Club to Death and Where's My Wonderland. Why isn't Deep Within on this? That was literally part of the Club to Death single. Club to Death and Where's My Wonderland are tracks 1 and 3 off the single, so why isn't the second track from it on here? I have no idea. Change the cover of Bad Blood. This one is just absolutely embarrassing. This is the Cruel Pornography EP right here in the middle, but you've seen the cover. It's Cruel Pornography, came out in 2015. He completely wiped Javon off of the cover of this one, and it does not even work with this cover. Like, this just looks like really bad Photoshop. And it's called the Battle Cry EP instead of Cruel Pornography, so that's really strange. And even the track listing is slightly different. The song Cruel Pornography is just retitled to Cruel for some reason. And it includes the songs Shiver and Reign of Terror, which are tracks that came out years after Cruel Pornography was out. That's also really bad editing. He literally just lowered the opacity of that picture and just threw it onto that photo. That's really bad. Blood Unplugged, I'm going to show this one as well. This one, I don't think it shows a track listing for this one either, so I don't know what's really on it. This is one of my favorite albums. I think this is one of the best albums that they ever did, to be honest. Nope, no track listing. It's just that picture and that album cover. And I do have a copy of that album. It has both of their signatures on it. This cover looks authentic. The back of it works. It actually opens. The CD is really nice, and it literally has a booklet slash wallpaper with it. It is literally just a jewel case copy with a replaced cover that doesn't even work, and we don't even know the track listing for it. So why would we buy this when you could just look for this one? This one cost me like $200 back in the day. This is one of the few that I do not want to sell, but anyway, you get the point. You have the Scissors Deluxe, took Jay off the cover. Why Monster album was retitled to Resurrection Spell, and he took Fallon off the cover. Haunted took Fallon off the cover. Cinema Erotica took Fallon off the cover. Rest in Peace 06 to 2016. That was a ripoff in itself even when it came out, because Blood on the Dance Floor did this entire promotion and they were like, oh, BOTDF is ending. Enjoy the last concerts, buy this album. And after this album sold out, they announced a new album. Like, that's one of the most open scams that Blood on the Dance Floor has ever done that nobody ever talks about. I actually still have my copy of this from back in the day, like with everything included. This is a jewel case copy on here that does not have the entire compilation, so why buy it? The Death of BOTDF, which is, I think, the part 2 to the Rest in Peace compilation that was not included. I don't know, though. The Legend of Blood on the Dance Floor. I always wanted to see this as a physical copy back in the day, but it never happened. But if you were excited to get it, then do not waste your time. It has an altered track listing, completely different from the other one, and it's just a very cheap, poorly made copy. Nintendo literally told them not to release this back in the day. I remember when that was a whole thing, but now that BOTDF is not really relevant anymore, just shit this out and put it on the website. Nintendo's not going to care anymore. That's why this is out now. This is not supposed to even be a release because Nintendo told them not to do it back when they were popular, but now they're able to put this out because Nintendo is not going to say a word about it. Now we're going to look at the part that I really want to talk about. This is something that you all will probably be like staring in shock about. If you have not been paying attention to what Blood on the Dance Floor has been doing lately, or keeping an eye on the vinyl pressings, you might really be baffled at what you're about to see, because this is horrible. Like, even I cannot believe this, but I'm going to look it up anyway. So you have the Club to Death single, that's $200. You have this Epidemic album on vinyl, that's also $200. 1 Out of 1 Club to Death and Anthem of the Outcast vinyl. Why are they... It doesn't even have the full Anthem of the Outcast EP on it as far as I remember. Like, I don't think it can fit onto the vinyl alongside Club to Death. See, we don't know. It doesn't say either. You literally have to buy this to know the track listing. Is it altered? Does it have stuff removed? We won't know unless we pay $200 to get it. And there's only one copy printed. One copy in the entire world. Again, how do you expect the fans to collect the music when this is how they're being distributed? Alright, gonna keep scrolling a bit. Okay, you have Battle Cry Rare Edition, $130. Resurrection Spell, aka Kawaii Monster, $130. Anthem of the Outcast, Cinema Erotica, and wait, can I see the track listing for Anthem of the Outcast? $130, by the way. Like, look at that, it's just slowly coming into existence. Does it have the track listing? Will we ever see it? It does! It literally has a track listing. Is it altered? Oh yeah, that's very, very altered. See, why would you pay $130 for this? Don't Want to Be Like You is literally like, I believe, track 8 of the original EP release. Good Vibes Only was a single that had nothing to do with this project. Find Your Way and The Untouchables are from the All the Rage album. Like, this is out of order, and it literally has stuff that was not even on the original release. Like, Why would you pay top dollar for this and it's just a completely half-assed repress? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Darker, harder, louder. That's something new. I'm not going to focus on it. Well, never mind. It's $200. Darker, harder, $200 pink vinyl. Bad Blood limited edition. Okay, this one I thought about getting back when it first came out on the website, because Bad Blood is one of my favorite albums. I love this album with a passion. I listened to it nonstop back in the day. In fact, literally listen to this like all the time. This is the one with the DVD release. This is like a pretty rare version of it that I don't see very often, but this is one of my favorite albums. I literally thought about getting this pressing when it launched on the site back in 2023, but I did not get it for one reason and one reason only, and that's because the track listing is absolutely butchered. Okay? For example, why is Always In Forever taken off? That's literally one of the best tracks that they've ever created. Why is Everyone Dies Alone track number 6 on side A? That's the last track, and it's like 13 seconds. Behemoth was also removed. That was a great track. I don't know why that's pulled. It seems like he pulled those tracks in exchange for Sick, Sad World and Revenge Will Have Its Day. Not saying those are bad tracks, but why include deluxe tracks on a copy that's supposed to just be the regular album? Like, the mere fact that Always In Forever is taken off makes this something that I would not buy. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that you could print your own copy of this album on Etsy for the exact same price, like with your own track listing and with the real cover, instead of paying $130 for a completely half-assed copy. Super rare 5 out of 5 Razor Candy, $222. That's a EP that's never going to sell. I've never really even heard of it. Keep going. Epic 15 Years of Epic Anniversary Edition. Went from 222 to 175. What a steal. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. The Epic album is huge. It is over an hour and 20 minutes. That cannot fit on a vinyl. That can't even fit on a 2 vinyl pressing. That would have to be like it would probably have to be a 4 LP set for that to even happen. But this is 15 Years of Epic Anniversary Edition, and look at that, only one ever made. No tracklist reveal. You literally do not know what's on this, and you know the full Epic album is not going to fit on that, so what the fuck is it? Oh, and it claims to have bonus tracks. Like, see, you don't know what's on that. It could be literally anything on that pressing, and it sold out. Someone actually paid for that. Sinners Are Winners for Beginners. This was one of my favorite albums back in the day. I loved this one. In fact, I was tempted to even get this one back when it first came out on the website as a vinyl pressing. But look, I mean, there's no track listing for it. It could be altered and we would never know it. I also have a copy of this album from back in the day as well, still sealed. Now, this is 8 tracks total, and it 100% can fit onto a vinyl. I don't know if he actually included the entire album or if he included some tracks that have no business being on it or reordered them. We just do not know. So why pay for the vinyl pressing when you can just make it yourself? Master of Death. Oh boy, I love this album. Master of Death was my favorite album back in 2015 when it came out. This album meant so much to me at one point. I tried to encourage my friends to buy it. I was literally trying to cosplay as Dahvie, which he went by Skull Kid on this project. I tried to cosplay as him on this album. I would listen to it every single day at school. This was like my favorite album. Years ago, I got an original copy of this album. The full version, the 2-disc Halloween edition from 2015, the one that is extremely hard to get a hold of. I got it. At first I thought this was actually kind of in order, but then I realized it is not. So, Good as Dead, Beyond the Wasteland, Exorcise My Demons, The Labyrinth, The Reckoning. The Reckoning is track 11 on the album, not track number 5. In fact, the album is literally a storyline, and it's supposed to, like, literally transition. The entire album is meant to be like a storyline, and it has an actual ending. Storyline is literally butchered on this version because it's redone. This is just cut in half, and it's done so horribly. Scissors. There's a real vinyl pressing of that album. I literally have it. Original, though, made sense because it had Dahvie and Jay on the cover. It was the original artwork. This one has a replacement, and wow, he really did that. Okay, so this is the original vinyl pressing. It literally has both of them on the cover. It's the all-original cover. And he literally just reused the exact same artwork for this track listing. He did not modify it or anything. It's literally just a copy of the original track listing. That is absolutely lazy. Like, most vinyl pressings usually say what side the tracks are on, like side A or side B. And he could have done that with this repress, but instead he literally just copied and pasted this exact same cover, but added his new logos to it and took the credits off of it. Bitchcraft, $130. Now, I bought this one. This is one of the few reprints I actually paid for. This is the unit itself. Now, why did I pay for this one? Because the track listing is not that altered. It actually includes The Reckoning and We're Taking Over. Now, The Reckoning, I want to bitch about this because that is a Master of Death track, but it was originally a BOTDF single, so I let it slide, and it came out not long after this album, so kind of fits. And We're Taking Over is an underrated track that actually fits as a finale for this album. Like, it's not bad. I'm going to give it that much. As a pressing, it's probably the best one that he has on the entire website, to be completely honest. Now, Diamond, no, this is a bad one. A really bad one. So this is the track listing. Again, the same exact formula as Anthem of the Outcast. It's the same style. Now, the original album literally fits onto the vinyl. Like, it's a 30-minute album. But for some reason, he chose to add the deluxe tracks instead of the actual album. Like, for example, why is Suicide Club on it? Why is Scream for My Ice Cream on it? Why is Miss Bipolar on it? Those tracks are deluxe tracks. Why would you include them with a pressing of the album that's supposed to be the original album? Like, all he did was ruin the pressing. I would have bought this one if he had not done that. But $130 for a half-assed copy. You have Let's Start a Riot. I don't know why he cropped the cover and made it look like that, but he did. All the Rage vinyl. I'm going to try to start making these quick because my legs are getting tired and I don't know what else to say. But this one's bad. This one is literally replace Javon on the cover again. And on the vinyl pressing, it starts with Bewitched, which is literally track 4 on the original album. Yoho is number 11. Le Petit Morte was a bonus track from the deluxe version that wasn't on the original album. Sex RX was a single that came out in 2019 that was added for some reason. Dark Dreams is supposed to be track 1. X times 3 is number 8. Plur was number 9. Like, this... And that artwork that he added for this track listing, I mean, look at this! That is the exact same font that is used on the track listing for All the Rage. The exact same font. And it's also on this one. Like, wow. And Evolution. Okay, the Evolution vinyl pressings, I was suckered into buying them back when they first came out because these were the first ones added to the website. I thought, you know, he's printing vinyl now. Really awesome. But I did not know he was going to release all of these either, or else I would not have paid for them. But I actually have both of these albums. And yes, I really paid $130 for both of these. I am not exaggerating. However, here's the cool thing though. The track listings on these are not too altered. Like, they actually kind of work, but at the same time, they kind of do not. Like, these are actually coherent and they actually seem like the real thing. Like, he didn't just completely half-ass them, but at the same time, I feel like they could have been done better as well. This is like a 2 vinyl pressing. It makes sense because it's a really long album, but these do in fact have the full albums excluding like 1 track, so it's not bad. So I paid for them even though I feel like I definitely shouldn't have. If these came out today, I would not have bought them. I bought them when they released in 2023. Then there's these epic pressings. These are butchered, and they also are at $130 each. Look at this track listing. Why is Sexting Remix even on this? Especially considering Dahvie and Jeffrey literally hate each other today. But for some reason, it's track number 2. And I don't know what to say. Like, Epic was my introduction to Blood on the Dance Floor. It was my favorite album for the longest time. I still have my copy of this album. I still think that this is one of the best albums that Blood on the Dance Floor ever put out. It has aged really well with me and is one of my favorite albums with the exclusion of a few tracks. But the vinyl pressing for this album was so botched that I would not ever buy this. This is the Blood on the Dance Floor website. This is what it is. Nobody is talking about it. Nobody is pointing any of this out. It's literally just something you have to look for yourself in order to really see it. But the professionalism of Blood on the Dance Floor from back in the day is completely gone. It wasn't really there to begin with, but it wasn't as bad as this either, which is why I'm talking so much about it. Also, one more thing I want to show you. This is something that needs to be shown to people who are probably collecting the physical media, because again, they are being pressed in horribly limited quantities. Most of them are just 1 copy each, or even 3 copies each. But some of them are literally being removed from the website because of either lack of interest or bad sales, meaning that if a copy is listed and it says 25 copies are being made, if it doesn't sell, he literally will pull it. And that, my friend, is what we are about to look at. So again, some of these quite literally do not sell whatsoever, and he just removes them. Also, that's another thing. Bewitched Reimagined. See it again with the whole thing with him trying to bait off of nostalgia. He's doing that as well, like re-releasing stuff. So we're going to head over to this over here. Now, this is one of my favorite albums. I'm not even going to exaggerate this. This is an album that I think was 100% overlooked. I think that this was a great album, and I think that more people should have listened to it. This is one that I also actually paid for. There were 5 copies made of this one, which is pretty ridiculous in itself, but at the same time, it's not crazy. Like, I listen to a lot of obscure music, and 5 copies is rather normal for some of the artists I listen to. And I go into the release history, and you see this link here. This goes to the original listing, but it's not available. No one else really bought this. So we're gonna go down and go to the compilations, and he put this one out. This is one that nobody else even remembers. I saved this right after it was announced on the website. It contains Lifting the Curse and Counting the Blessings, which is 2 EP releases. And head over to the history. Oh my. So yeah, you go down, 25 ever made, and you know they did not sell. But you go to it, yeah, you get to it, it says 404 not found, meaning it is removed. It did not sell, by the way. Again, like, this literally was pulled like a week after it was uploaded. There was no way that all 25 copies were sold within that short time frame. There was no way. This one. This is a good album. This was the last album that I think was actually good by Blood on the Dance Floor, The Most Vivid Nightmares, whatever you want to call them. There have been some bad projects before this, but this was one of the first projects where I was like, you know what, I think we should just give up on this, because with physical media, you're not going to get all of it, and I gave it a 3 stars. But there was a vinyl pressing and a cassette pressing. I'm pretty sure both of those are no longer available, but let's see, how many were made of this one? I think this is also why I couldn't get it. I think it was like extremely limited. This one, it did sell. Someone actually bought it. It was like $300 and it was one vinyl pressing. Yep. If you are a collector of Blood on the Dance Floor, if you are a collector of anything that Dahvie makes, you will never 100% have every single thing that he has put out. Now, when I talk about, I'm going to widen the screen here because this is the end of the video. When I collect physical media, I try to get as much of it as possible. I don't just try to get the albums I like. I try to get everything within the catalog, even if I do not enjoy all of it. I have always been a collector. It's always been something that I do. As much as I enjoy Blood on the Dance Floor's early music, I simply do not pay for any of these reprints. I do not pay for any of the new stuff he is putting out, because it is 100% all nostalgia baiting and ripping people off, because he does not reveal the track listings for some of the projects. He alters the track listings on some of them. He overcharges for them. Some of them quite literally only have one copy made. And everything he is putting out is mostly just referencing his older material. Like, there are so few copies of what he is putting out nowadays that there is no point to collecting any of this newer material, because you will never truly have all of it, because some of it is being removed because it's not selling, and some of it is limited to like less than 3 copies. There is no reason to be buying it unless you just have to have it for some reason. But I enjoy Blood on the Dance Floor's early music, but I refuse to buy anything new from him. If you want to collect Blood on the Dance Floor material, just go on eBay and look for the earlier projects. I know this was a very messy video. I know that it was probably very hard to watch, but at the same time, someone had to say something about this. His website, his modern distribution, is a complete train wreck, and I wish more people were talking about it. So that's why I wanted to make this little video. And I hope this brings more attention to what's happening, because it's literally just nostalgia baiting and ripping people off. Blood on the Dance Floor literally ended in 2019, but because his Epidemic album did relatively well, it has somewhat proven that there's kind of an interest in the music, so these nostalgia-based products and re-releases are now overflowing all of his pages. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all later. Have a great night. I hope you all enjoyed the video.